my god, I almost just really ate shit and I banged my knee. Oh man. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. For this video, you are gonna wanna have something of comforting, and for me, it's a hot drink. I've recently found this tea that they call the medicine ball from Starbucks that is tea steeped in lemonade. Super good. I usually bring my own reusable cup, but I forgot to today, so yes, I'm a terrible environmentalist. I actually have a strict rule to not drink calories unless it's alcohol because I just don't deem it worth it, but I will do it for this tea. So per usual, I chose the article that was updated most recently. White South Carolina DJ accused of sex trafficking nearly 700 black girls. 700. More girls than there are days in a year. Just let that sink in. Jason Roger Pope is being held without bond. A Florence, South Carolina man was denied bond during a court hearing last week after being charged with human trafficking and sex crimes in August. On Monday, Jason Roger Pope appeared in court for a bond hearing, which lasted about 10 minutes when his defense counsel, Rosemary Parham, announced the intent to withdraw his request for a bond hearing, but did not explain the reason behind the withdrawal. 42-year-old man is being held at Florence County Detention Center, according to the South Carolina Attorney General's office. Pope, a party promoter and local DJ, was arrested on August 29th on 3 counts of trafficking in persons, 3 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, and 1 count each of second-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor, promoting the prostitution of a minor and kidnapping. Bruh. I mean, it's like he couldn't even decide which crime to stick with, so he's like, you know what? Let's just do everything. Let's just do every despicable act people can think of. I'm stunned. I'm genuinely stunned and disgusted. And who has the time? Like, I know that sounds like a funny thing, but I'm not trying to be funny. I'm saying just logistically, someone who has a job, who has the time to do all of this shit? I genuinely am surprised even just by that, considering I barely have the time to have a mental breakdown. I'm confused. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Arrest warrants show that between July 2017 and July 2019, Pope allegedly forced 4 underage girls to perform sex acts at his home. One of the girls was reportedly as young as 13. Another victim, a 17-year-old girl, told police Pope gave her money, drugs, and/or items in exchange for sex. This man is so absolutely depraved. Like a sex act with a minor isn't already disgusting and abusive enough, giving them drugs. This is a moment where I think we should all collectively take a break and take a sip or do something comforting. I don't feel better. I suspected a long time ago that things weren't right over there because of who he had coming in and out. A longtime neighbor of Pope said the Atlanta Black Star reports. They looked like they were very young, underage maybe. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division thinks there may be more victims. According to arrest warrants between September 27th, 2017 and December 13th, 2017, Pope forced a 16-year-old girl to engage in commercial sex acts and threatened the victim, identified as J.H., to perform further sexual acts for money and other things of value, authorities said. So first of all, I want to acknowledge that the longtime neighbor is the real MVP. And this just goes to show how everything can make a difference, in the sense of you might not think it's a big deal to see a suspicious person enter an apartment because you're like, I'm probably overreacting, I'm probably wrong. But in reality, it can be the make or break, right? Because if this neighbor hadn't said anything or hadn't confirmed anything, maybe Pope wouldn't have been brought to court in the first place at all. Like, maybe some of these things would have never been discovered. So as much as this case is disgusting and despicable, it also shows that one person seeing one simple thing, like someone entering or exiting an apartment, can make a massive difference. And I know that we probably all know this, but I do think that that's at least one positive to come out of this, along with him being jailed. In 2018, Pope was charged with 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor, but pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of 2 counts of cruelty to children. I feel like every time I read an extra paragraph in this article, I just have, well, I don't really have any empathy for him to begin with, but It's like we're going into the negatives now. Between July 1st and September 1st, 2019, Pope sexually assaulted a 16-year-old identified as AB and paid the victim for the sex acts, according to arrest warrants. Again, around July 7th, 2019, the party promoter allegedly sexually assaulted a 14-year-old identified as SM and paid her for sex acts, arrest warrants state. Pope, a white man who goes by DJ Kid. Are you fucking kidding me? DJ Kid? When you're a fucking pedophile? That's bold and also explanatory, but why am I even surprised, honestly? Glorified his outlandish behaviors through a series of photos on his Facebook page, which remains active, of him with several black women. It is unclear the age of the women in the photos or if any of them were involved in providing information to police that led to his arrest. The Facebook page also lists him as working as a street promoter for Def Jam Records since 1999 and states he's in a relationship. It also states the Florence man, who lives in Sumter, Southern Carolina, studied at University of South Carolina and went to CMA, which is a military academy. It was through social media that authorities learned that Pope solicited a 17-year-old identified as TC in arrest warrants for commercial sex acts, and the victim received money and other things of value from Pope. This guy is not only disgusting, but mind-numbingly stupid. Criminals who post things on social media, I thank God, really, for their stupidity, because a lot of the times they just incriminate themselves and they take themselves, aka the trash, out. But it genuinely stupefies me that people never think, maybe this isn't a great idea. Nonetheless, happy you're a dumbass. Dumbass. During that same period, Pope allegedly held a minor in a home against her will and sexually assaulted her. The identity of that victim was not revealed. Pope's run-ins with the law due to improper conduct with minors stems back to December 2011. At that time, a 13-year-old told deputies she had sex with Pope after a friend introduced them. He allegedly gave her marijuana and alcohol, deputies said. She later found out he had AIDS. I'm trying not to combust into a full-fledged rage. So he genuinely kidnapped a minor, sexually abused her, and gave her AIDS. We don't know if he gave her AIDS, but if you're raping people, I wouldn't put it past you to not put on a condom. A second victim came forward alleging that Pope took her to his home on Lakeview Drive and had sex with her. The victim, also a minor, said she was sexually assaulted on Thanksgiving of that year, and like the 13-year-old, was concerned that she had contracted AIDS from him. Both of the young women identified Pope's home and his license plate number, according to the incident report. A Facebook photo gallery titled DJ Kid, Parties and Girls, Part 1, shows over 100 photos of the accused with several different black women, many in compromising positions. Pope is grabbing several of the women's butts, and one photo shows him grabbing a woman by her crotch with yet another woman lying on top of him topless. According to a Facebook screenshot, Pope reportedly once bragged that, "I'm 36 with 693 bodies, all black females. What about you?" The fact that this guy's a pedophile and also racially targets black women is not only disgusting, but extremely alarming, because it sounds like he has a fixation. And mind you, serial killers, rapists, whatever, oftentimes have a particular preference. But when the preference is racial is what I find alarming, because it's not a preference, it's maybe a statement of what they think of that particular race. Like, who gives a fuck about black women is probably what he thinks. Definitely fetishizing, because he's showing off about the alleged 693 all black women, and it's like, that's not appreciation, that's creepy and gross. Damn Jason Roger Pope, all these photos looks like it was taken in your house, one person commented on Pope's Facebook page on Tuesday, October 15th, describing him as a guy who's on a mission to torture someone. Well, his friend has that right, except it wasn't just one person that he tortured, and his acts are infinitely disgusting. Infinitely disgusting. And I'm more than anything alarmed at the fact that I was not aware of this until someone DM'd me about it, and it was published yesterday. And I don't want to go into conspiracy theories about why this isn't being broadcasted with a fucking megaphone from the rooftops, but when there are 700 people, how can you not talk about it? You know, how can you just be like, ah, that's a casual thing that happens all the time. Whether it's one person or 700, the acts are still disgusting. But when someone shows a repeated pattern, even more disgusting, because obviously more people were hurt, more people were put at risk, and more people are potentially at risk as the person is proven that they want to do it over and over again, right? I have no words really to describe how much I think this guy is a piece of shit. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know why you think this isn't being broadcasted. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons, as always, and let's get right into the fan art.